Welcome to day 160 of the 300 movie challenge. Today, we would have watched the highest grossing film of September 2007, but that was Resident Evil Extinction. So instead, we're watching the highest grossing film of November 2005, because that was Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. God, this is confusing. Anyway, so we watched Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. And actually, I think that summarizes the movie pretty well.
Yep.
This was, like...
Weird?
This was weird. This was really
It was
weird.
really darkly lit, too. And while for the other, like, Harry Potter movies, they kind of suspend your disbelief and they kind of put you into the plot and everything, and you get, like, sucked into the world and everything. In this, you're like, what the heck is happening? And you don't get sucked into the world at all, and you're just like,
yeah,
and you don't even realize a mystery is happening in the background half the time either.
Yeah,
the directing was so bad.
It was pretty weird, and yeah, like, this was pretty noticeably the worst plot.
Yeah.
Again, not necessarily in terms of what happens, but in terms of just how it's presented.
Yeah, like the Triwizard Tournament, for example.
So many whys. Like, why did they have to have the fourth person if there's only supposed to be one person per school? Isn't that already breaking a rule?
Isn't it called? It's called the Triwizard Tournament.
Yeah.
That means 3. So what? Like, and they're like, oh, he can't quit because the reason, and it's like.
But he already broke the rules.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
how does that?
And he
work?
didn't even put his own name into the Goblet of Fire.
Yeah. Like, wait a minute. Does that mean that, like, say, if you, like, really hated someone or something, couldn't someone else just put your name in it despite you not putting the name in it? Shouldn't it just be the person themselves putting their name into the Goblet of Fire?
Right.
Yeah.
Why is it a thing that you can put someone else's name in it? Then, of course, why wouldn't a bunch of 12-year-olds done that by convincing someone else to put their name in there?
Yeah.
I don't know if this plot hole is like actually addressed in the books or not, but like there's like that thing with the actual goblet part, and then like there was some other like weird things like the dragon. The dragon gets loose and chases Harry all around like the campus and stuff.
And then it just gets gone. You never see it again.
Never see it again.
Not only that, but the fact that it was able to get free of its chain is already something to be, like...
concerned about.
Yeah, because it's like... Well, what happened if he didn't have the broom and the dragon became free?
Yeah, like, it was destroying parts of the school when they were, like, flying around, and it's just like, what was stopping the dragon from just, like, burning down the school?
Or even, like, again, if you want to think of this like an animal and maybe be like, oh, well, he was chasing Harry because, like, you know, predator-prey. And it's like, what if he realized that there were, like, 100 people, like, just in the stands right there and was like, ooh, yummy. And it's like, come on.
It's not like
no one else had any concern about the dragon being on the castle or escaping. It's like no one decided that it was smart to go and chase the dragon. Like, yeah, it's a tournament, but it got free of... It's like... Let's just say for a moment that we were in, like, the bull ring in Spain and stuff, and the bull got loose. No one is just going to sit in the stand and watch as, like, the one lone guy tries to catch the bull as it's running through the streets or whatever.
But
yeah,
no,
everyone's gonna run away.
And again, that's not even that creative an example, because even the people who are if the bull gets out on the streets, the people in the stands are fine, because a bull, you know, is just on the ground. But a dragon can fly, so, like, literally everyone's screwed. So it's like, okay, sure.
And then the other thing is that they're playing, like, cheery music, and everyone's, like, sitting in the stands, but half the time no one in the stands can even see what's going on.
Yeah, no, for all of them, right?
Yeah.
Because actually, think about it. So, for the dragon thing, if it worked, actually would have made sense, right? But he escaped, so okay, fine. So we'll give that one. But then the second one, they it's all like have them being underwater. How is the rest of them supposed to like see what's going on while they're underwater? And they said that like that thing, it's supposed to be they have an hour. So what were they literally just like standing there for an hour, just like waiting while like nothing happened?
Yeah.
And then the hedge maze at the end again. Also like
you see literally 0% of it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
It was
And
kind
then
of funny.
everyone was so shocked at the end when Cedric died, like given he didn't die from the actual like tournament.
No, okay. To be fair though, I kind of liked that like emotional like shift where they were like, "Oh, they're back, yay!" and then everyone's like, "Oh," like I don't know.
That's too, but I feel like that a moment was really nice and stuff. But the fact that it was like everyone would have gotten killed, and they were playing such cheery music, and it's like, don't you think that they should be signing like contracts saying that if they get killed or something through, because they would have gotten killed from any of those things too, like they could have drowned or gotten eaten by a dragon and such. And it's like, what would you tell the parents in that situation? Oh, my son decided to throw his name into a goblet of fire, and the rules say that he can't like exit it and stuff, and it's like,
gotta take your kid out of that school, I think.
And then wait, okay, hold on. So all four of them like got to be in the maze, right?
Yeah.
But in the second thing with the water, the girl like they said she was like disqualified for some reason. Right?
Yeah.
Was she?
They said something like that, like right?
Well, she didn't get her little sister.
She turned back.
But what I'm saying is that, like, so wait, so you can fail a challenge, but then still go to the next one?
I guess that's another thing, too. Like, the girl was so unimportant in the entire thing. Like, it could have literally been, like, just the other two schools, and they didn't need to have the third school.
Oh, yeah, just Victor's school and then Hogwarts.
Yeah.
They could have done, like, 2 people from each school.
Or hell, no.
That would have made sense.
Just get rid of Victor's whole school and have it so that it's literally just a thing between the houses again.
Yeah.
And then you would actually get the thing what we talked about at the beginning of these movies. Like, we want to know more about these other houses. Because we still don't know anything about these houses, so, that'd be something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, okay, the whole water thing. Like, what? I don't even understand what that was. Like, so they're supposed to... What were they told to do? Like, go underwater and find, like,
their treasure.
Yeah.
I guess that the treasure would be, like, the person that they find important, so it was, like...
But so think of that from... But how does that person... So what? Like, so Ron just, like, all of a sudden gets, like, teleported to the bottom of the lake? Like, how does that work?
Okay,
like, I don't get it. Like, literally, that doesn't make any sense. I thought it was going to be like, oh, it's like an illusion and it's not really them. But no, it's literally them. And they're like, oh my god, you saved me. And it's like, huh? Like, how does this work? I don't get it.
Wait, does that mean that they put 8 students at risk then?
Yeah, so they're just like, oh, they literally, like, so right as the competition starts, they just pull them aside. They're like, hey, by the way, we're going to dump you in the lake. And they're like, what? And then just, it's like, it literally makes no sense.
Not only that, but if Harry didn't rescue, like, the girl that we all thought was Ginny, but apparently was the unimportant fourth person's, like, younger sister and everything, would she have just died?
Yeah.
I guess.
Like, okay, so apparently, like, the Goblet of Fire book is, like, the longest book, and it's, like, so it makes sense that they would have to cut some things out for this movie. But I feel like they really could have done this a lot better.
Yeah. They could have made it more streamlined, and I mean, this is one of those movies where they could probably have been like, okay, so this doesn't make any damn sense in the book. Let's try to make it make sense in the movie because we have visuals and we can make it work somehow.
I feel like the whole part, too, with, like, oh, no kid under, like, 17 is allowed to participate. It's kind of like, well, if you're going to make Harry anyway participate, it was, like, literally there so that when Harry's name got pulled out, it'd be like, but that's impossible! And it's kind of like,
No, but here's the thing: they didn't even need to do that because literally the whole
They
You would
point.
be the
That's
fourth
the thing.
person.
Yeah, just be
anyway.
like, wait, there's a fourth person? Like, that's a big enough
Yeah.
surprise already.
Yeah.
And the fact that he didn't put his name in. Like, you don't need this arbitrary 17
That's
rule.
like all you need for that. And then they had
Very
the
simple.
stupid thing with like Ron being like the drama in the beginning where Ron and him were like fighting or whatever
Yeah,
because of
like,
that.
yeah, like, literally, why was he mad? Like, literally, why? I don't understand why he was mad. I don't know if they even gave a reason. Like, oh, he's, like, jealous? Like, I don't get it. Like, what was it?
I don't know. He was just mad at him,
Well, I
and then
Think
he
of
got
his
mad
like,
at Hermione.
first movie. He wanted fame and glory, so I guess he wanted to participate in it. But then it's just like, why would you be mad at your friend for that still?
Yeah, I don't get it. And
I mean, if they didn't have the age restriction and Ron put his name in, and then like Harry's name got picked because of like reasons, then I think they wouldn't have even had that conflict because it'd be like, whoa, you didn't put your name in?
Yeah,
What?
like I would have concentrated on that instead of being like, oh, you cheated or whatever. And it's like, shouldn't the big picture thing be that there's a fourth person when there's not supposed to be a fourth person?
It's not called the Quad Wizards Tournament.
Yeah.
and then well, okay, speaking of just the issue with Harry and Ron, like, not only that, but like all of the students like pick on him, but then when he succeeds the first trial, everyone loves him.
Yeah.
Like, it's
for-
just an immediate flip, and it's like, okay, it just, feels really weird.
Yeah.
I don't.
And then there was the prom.
Okay, no, literally, again, going back to like cutting things, why was that in the movie? Literally, why was that in the movie? What did that have to do with the story at all?
It had to showcase Harry's now crush.
I think what they could have done is they could have like skipped the scene and been like, "Oh yeah, do you remember what happened at the ball yesterday?" Easy.
Or
Don't
again,
need
or
that.
maybe just like
I don't think they even needed the ball. It just needed to show that Hermione and the Victor dude had like a thing together or something.
but
Yeah,
no,
they
see,
could have been studying in the background.
if they
or something.
have that, and then I guess because they really want to develop this thing where like Ron just like hates people for no reason. Like, if they want to get the thing where Ron's like kind of mad at Hermione, again, they can show that, but as like a really condensed, like, again, they could have a sort of prom kind of scene that can be like 5 minutes and just cover that and then move on.
Yeah.
It's like they don't need this whole build up and like, and them being weird about like, oh, we're gonna ask people out. It's like, what? Well, this is not what I thought I was gonna see when I started to watch this movie. That I'd see Harry Potter goes to the prom. It's like, come on, dude. Like, I didn't.
I was very confused when I first watched this movie.
So, yeah, and it's like, I don't know. And okay, let's talk about Voldemort.
Oh
Oh
boy.
yeah. Voldy.
Now this is the first time I've ever like actually seen a performance of him besides like probably some random trailer I saw at some point. Okay, he's kind of lame. Like, am I weird for thinking he seems kind of lame?
I don't remember how he was in the last two movies, and I don't know how he is in the fifth and sixth movies. So I can't.
Like, I don't know. He's not. He doesn't seem very intimidating to me. And like, and again, if they were going for like, let me start over. He doesn't seem very intimidating, and like, if that, they didn't have to go for that. Again, maybe if they wanted to go the kind of like comedic-ish, or like maybe not comedic, but in a way where it's like he's menacing, but like there's a kind of like Joker-esque a little bit. Again, not saying fully, or something, but it seemed like they were definitely playing like, this is a super serious, very scary guy, and it's like, I don't know. He wasn't. And his voice was like kind of silly. Like, I don't know. It's not an intimidating presence from him, and it's just like, okay, I guess this is the bad guy. It's just, I don't know. I was honestly really disappointed. I thought he would be a lot more intimidating, and he wasn't. So,
I think in the later
Yeah.
movies they kind of play more with that, but
yeah,
Yeah, I'm
and
gonna
again,
say we should wait since he was on screen for what, 5 minutes?
Yeah, I fully understand that, and I know that there's definitely like, well, we know like nothing about him as like an actual character, so I totally I give you that. But I'm just saying for this movie, I was like,
Yeah.
that's
yeah.
Voldemort.
I will say that this, like, the Voldemort and Goblet of Fire versus Tom Riddle. Tom Riddle is much scarier.
Yeah, Tom Riddle was much scarier.
Oh my goodness, I would not want to, like, cross that guy. I would go the fuck away. So far away.
Like, I don't know. And then, okay,
Oh, the twist at the end?
well, okay, the emotions, like, that we're going through in terms of, like, the acting and stuff like that from, like, Cedric's death to, like, toward the end, that was all done well. I
Yeah.
just feel like, again, the whole plot was just kind of a mess before that, so it didn't feel like you quite earned it.
Yeah.
And yeah, the twist, like, I don't know, it just, I didn't feel like there was any build-up to, like, that actual guy, though.
So that, yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
he
I
was in a
don't think so.
flashback, and that was, like, honestly kind of hard to follow, and then, like, that was it.
Not only that, but the thing is that, you know how in the other movies they kind of followed the mystery and kind of let you, like, solve it alongside people and everything? Here it's
Yeah.
just like, oh, there was a mystery that was happening, now we solved it. And it's like, but we didn't even know that there was a mystery, and you didn't even let us solve it with the pieces that we had. It's just, like, oh, it's that dude? And we kind of already...
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, because I'm thinking, and I'm like, if they just took that twist out, and that was just completely not there whatsoever, they cut out that whole thing with the, is his actual name Bad Eye? I don't even remember.
Mad Eye Moody.
Mad
Eye.
Eye.
If they cut that whole thing with him and Harry near the end out, and it's just that, like, Harry and Dumbledore are talking, like, that scene afterward, if they just, like, get rid of that, like, that doesn't change the story.
Yeah.
Like, at all. It, like, literally, it's not like there's anything missing. It's, you know, I guess it could be something where it's like, well, how did somehow Harry Potter get into the thing? You know, how was it a setup? But I kind of feel like that would be something that you almost kind of want to keep secret for now, because that's the whole
Yeah, I
point, is
could
like,
find out later.
yeah, because, oh my god, Voldemort's here, what? How did that happen, right? So, like, that could be
Right.
kind of more of a plot for the next movie. And again, I know that...
Especially since these movies, you know there's going to be another one.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and again, I know that they have to take the plot elements from the book that it's in, so I know, but again, I'm trying not to judge it based on that. I'm trying to judge it just based on what this movie was. So, yeah, and like, it sucks, because, like, see, now I'm confused. So, like, was that guy all, for
Yeah,
the
like,
whole movie, was he that dude?
I don't know where the point where the real Mad Eye was, like, not there anymore.
And then there was the whole part with, like, Snape accusing him and everything, and it's kind of like, it just gets taken as, like, why are you picking on him kind of thing, instead of it being like, oh, that's a clue. Instead it's like, oh, you're just picking on him as normal.
Well, see, I thought it was a
because that's
thing...
what Snape
I
does.
thought it was that, like, that Neville actually took it from him. Like, the stuff from
Oh
him.
yeah, because of the
plant.
herb thing.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's what I thought that's what I thought they were talking about, was that's where Neville got the herb, because they said it was rare or whatever. So I was like, oh,
Right.
okay, that, like, there you go. So, yeah, it's just, well, okay, there was a scene earlier on where Harry's meeting him, and, like, there's that, like, chest or whatever, and it makes, like, a noise, and he's like, oh, you wouldn't believe me if I told you what's in there or something. So I imagine that, like, by then,
Was that when they switched?
I guess, but maybe, was he always switched? I don't get it. Like, I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter, but I don't know. It's just, it's weird. It's annoying because I liked that guy as a character, but then it's like, I feel like with the twist, it kind of invalidates him as a character. So it's like,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, is
Now
that
you don't know
actually
anything
Mad Eye?
about him.
yeah, exactly. I'm like, oh, so that whole characterization was, like, a lie. Yeah, so what is his actual characterization? I don't know.
There was one very small detail that I actually picked up on. It was like kind of an unimportant one, I guess, until like the later movies, I think it is. But okay, so you remember in the classroom where I don't know, fake or real Mad Eye Moody was teaching the kids about the curses.
Mm-hmm.
and he picks Neville and he does the torture curse on the spider.
Yeah.
In a flashback, like when Harry goes and he like looks into the thing and it's like Dumbledore and the trial thing, it was mentioned that the curse was used on the Longbottoms.
Okay. Yeah, I see what you mean.
So
Oh,
that was
okay.
the only detail I picked up on.
Okay, so that's actually kind of an interesting. Again, if you take it where then at that point Mad Eye is the other guy,
Yeah.
then that kind of gets to an interesting.
Because maybe he did it on purpose.
Yeah, so that's okay. That's kind of interesting, but
That is really. But they didn't even concentrate on that moment at
Yeah,
all.
they didn't.
yeah,
That's probably the only clue that you really honestly could latch onto to be like,
but that's like a really it's really obtuse as a clue though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Not only that, but if they like centered on it or was like, wait, like if Harry was like, wait a minute, Longbottoms, Neville, and stuff, then I would have been fine. But Harry didn't even concentrate on that point.
Yeah,
either.
wait, why did he ask Neville?
And you just see Neville staring at the picture, the stained glass window where it was crying and everything, and you have no idea why he was staring at it, even to the end of the movie until. And if my aunt hadn't picked that up, neither me nor Valen would still know why that was
Yeah.
the case.
actually,
Yeah, I was like, oh, okay. Longbottom.
speaking of windows, the whole like bath thing was really weird.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
Bartle.
The CGI in this movie doesn't look good.
Well, okay,
Yeah, honestly, it's
it
pretty
looks
bad.
it looks like roughly the same as like the first movie, but it was made like 4 years later. So
I guess.
no
Yeah, like
excuse.
the third movie and the second movie definitely had better CGI effects. Like the
Yeah.
dragon look, like the creatures look fine, but then there was some elements like the stained glass window. I think
like,
there was another one
the
that
dragon
was like
the dragon looked pretty good, but honestly like that spider thing did look not that great.
I think
Yeah.
the
So-
thing is that like with the first three movies, it was the whole thing about immersion. We
Yeah.
were concentrating on the actual story, and it didn't matter that it was CGI. We probably could have overlooked it for the most part. In this case, we were like, why is it so dark? What the hell is going on? What's that?
Oh
Why
yeah,
does it
and
look like
then
that?
like the beginning of the movie, it switches between like it goes from there's this serious moment in a haunted house or whatever. Okay, cool. It's creepy. It's horror. Then it goes to we're gonna go hiking now. It's like nice and happy and everything. It's like
Family
okay.
time.
And then there's a sporting event. Oh, we're supposed to be really excited and stuff. And then it goes to oh my god, it's a crisis. It's an action movie. The world is ending.
And that literally happens in like 11 minutes. It's like so
Yep.
fast. And then wait, hold on. What during that scene there's this whole thing about like this big like skull in the sky.
Yeah.
That's never brought up. Like
You see it in the guy's tattoo at the end.
oh,
but-
is that what that's supposed to be? Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because it was like the mark of the Dark Lord or something.
Yeah.
I guess I don't
I'm
know.
gonna assume the guy that Harry saw then was what's his name? The Doctor Who guy.
Yeah.
The something Junior.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Junior. Just call him Junior.
Just call him Junior.
Well, I don't know. Like honestly, it kind of sucks because like there is still this like overall. It's kind of like what I said about like the like Attack of the Clones, like which was not a good movie, but there's still this kind of like charm to it that's kind of
And there
there
are
because
parts-
the series. So like
there are
There were
Parts that were
parts
pretty
that were good, like
good.
with
Yeah.
Cedric's death, and I remembered that other scene where I was like, the CGI is pretty bad, which was with Sirius Black in the fireplace.
Oh my god!
Oh, yeah, that looks
was
really
so
weird.
trippy. So trippy.
Yeah, but yeah, so there's that. Like the maze in itself was actually pretty good. Scene.
Yeah.
And there's there's this overall kind of feeling, and like the acting is usually actually pretty good. It's just they don't really like do too much with it.
Yeah.
So it
Yeah.
just kind of sucks because like there's a lot of like good elements, but it's just like the
It's muddled.
Execution
the
is
story
not
is just
great.
really poorly done, and that
Yeah.
hinders everything. So I feel really bad. It's just like I want to
Probably
like this.
wasn't this bad with the book, but
Yeah, it's just like
I'm
I really
sure-
want to
yeah.
like this, but I'm just like I don't really know if I can. I'm like so split on it. It's just
I
really
feel
weird.
like what it is that the directing you can probably blame a bit more than the source material, because I guess
Yeah.
with the source material, if you read it, then maybe you could understand some of the nuances that get lost in like the visual representation, especially
like the
with
long bottom line and stuff.
yeah, like
Yeah.
especially with how poor the directing is, maybe some nuances did get lost, and maybe that's why we're so confused about certain things. Because that could also happen too.
See,
It happens all the time.
what I don't understand is that I actually looked up like what a critic said about this movie, and like it actually of the movies we've seen, this is like tied with Prisoner of Azkaban as like the highest rated.
What?
And
Really?
yeah, no, like noticeably so. Like the other two, like on Metacritic, are like in the 60s, but Prisoner of Azkaban and this are like 82.
Really?
Yeah, and like the things that they praised was the like the more mature story, and I'm like, like
What? This
Well,
was
it's
a
not
more mature
executed well.
story?
I don't get it. Like,
throwing in a prom?
yeah, like I don't understand. Like again, some people are saying, "Oh, the performances were good," and I'm like, "Okay, yeah, fine." But like the main thing that kept coming up was this like more mature story, and like that they're taking the plot places, and it's like, oh, did we watch the same movie? Like I'm so confused.
There's like exactly one portion with Cedric, and that's it. That's the only
Like, the whole thing with like Ron and Harry, you call that mature? And then the
Yeah.
whole thing with like Ron and Hermione, and then the prom thing, that's mature?
Yeah, it's just it doesn't make any sense.
The whole thing with the dragon just disappearing?
the driver's
That's
like,
mature?
I'm free.
Because like, and again, like maybe it could be something where like, because I've seen this sometimes for, and I say I maybe I fall guilty for this. Is sometimes there's a movie where just like the visual spectacle of it is like just so good and so interesting that like the story details they kind of slip your mind because you're not focused on that. But this didn't look as good as the previous movie, so you can't even say that. So
No.
I don't get it. Again, it's not a horrible movie by any means. It's not. I wouldn't even necessarily say it's bad, but it's definitely like.
It's just disappointing.
It's really iffy. Yeah, it's.
We all kind of agreed that this was the weakest film we've seen so far.
Yeah, of the series.
yeah.
So it's just. Yeah, like. I didn't expect to enjoy watching Ghost Rider more than this movie.
No.
Definitely
So-
laughed a
Or
lot.
300?
Yeah.
Extra the movie.
So it's just. I hope the next ones are better.
From what I remember, you won't be disappointed.
Okay.
I think they dumped this director, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the only time he directed. Because I'm pretty sure the first two were directed by the same person, and I think 5 through 8 were directed by the same person. So,
Okay.
So it's just this one was the weird experiment.
Well, remember, Azkaban was a bit weird too. And that was
Yeah.
also its own person, so...
I mean, Azkaban.
But
was-
I feel like
but it worked.
Azkaban, we could follow the plot.
Yeah, it was
much
definitely
better.
better than this. But there
worked.
were, like, a few stylistic oddities in it, if you remember.
Yeah, there
Yeah.
were.
Yeah, so... But, yeah, so... That was Goblet of Fire. Next month, another sequel.
Yep.
Yay!
You guys probably guess what it is, though.
Yeah.
Okay,
Anyway.
Bye.
Jesus